Have you ever made a quick financial decision, maybe leaping into a new investment or starting a side hustle, only to realize months later that you missed a critical detail? One overlooked assumption can cost you thousands of dollars or derail your progress. Jeff Bezos hated seeing that happen at Amazon. In fact, he hated it so much that he banned PowerPoint.
No PowerPoints are used inside of Amazon
Altogether, insisting on 6-page narrative memos instead. But it wasn't just about banning slides. It was about forcing in-depth thinking to avoid expensive mistakes. Those same principles can help you protect your own money. When you approach your personal finances with the same rigor, you stand a much better chance of uncovering hidden risks, planning more acutely, and growing your wealth with fewer setbacks. If Amazon uses these methods to guide billion-dollar decisions, just imagine what a structured narrative approach could do for your next career, business, or investment move. Bezos saw trouble in quick, bullet point approaches. Slides are flashy, sure, but they encourage fast conclusions. If you only see a few words highlighted on a screen, how often do you dig deeper to question the underlying details? In personal finance, that might look like glancing at a hot stock tip or a real estate listing and thinking it all sounds good. You jot down a few bullet points: potential profit, quick turnaround, minimal risk. But those points can mask underlying complexities. The house might need expensive repairs. That new cryptocurrency might be fueled purely by hype. Without a method that forces careful research, you risk pumping money into shaky projects. Bezos replaced that bullet point style with written narratives because a multi-page document forces you to detail every assumption. You can't just say low risk. You have to define what that means, show numbers that explain it, and justify why you think it's low. That depth is what helps you avoid the sort of blind spots that can wipe out a part of your savings. Many top-performing companies have some story behind their success, but Amazon's story is particularly unique. Brad Stone's book, The Everything Store, backs up how Bezos created a culture of rigorous thinking. When teams pitch a new idea at Amazon, whether it's a product launch or a major business acquisition, they have to write a thorough memo. Everyone sits down, reads it silently, and only then do they ask questions. This process lessens knee-jerk reactions, and it makes sure no logical leaks slip through. How does that tie to you and your money? Picture crafting a memo for your next big investment decision. Instead of shooting off a slideshow that says 10% annual returns, you'd write a paragraph on your assumptions, the potential consequences if your forecast is off, and how you plan to measure success. It might be tedious, but each detail can save you from losing your hard-earned cash because you'll catch problems early. If you're getting value here, make sure to subscribe. I promise to keep sharing these powerful strategies so you build wealth more intelligently, just like the brightest minds do. Think of Kindle, one of Amazon's most successful ventures. Early on, teams wrote lengthy memos analyzing everything from manufacturing costs to how readers prefer to hold their devices. They couldn't hide fuzzy thinking behind a single bullet point that said, optimize user experience. Instead, they had to define what optimize meant: the size, the weight, the screen clarity, and the battery life. The same logic applies to building your financial future. If you want to invest in rentals, you can't just say, attract good tenants. You need to detail what that means: the screening process, the rental price range, the neighborhood appeal, and the costs of potential repairs. Amazon's approach to detail is exactly why you see them succeed on many fronts. They do the homework. They anticipate questions. And while we can't all be Bezos, we can definitely use a more narrative-driven approach when we're navigating decisions about buying a car, switching jobs, or trying a new passive income strategy. A shallow presentation might look brilliant at first glance, just like a social media post promising overnight financial freedom. But once you dig deeper, you notice question marks. Maybe the numbers rely on unrealistic growth, or the plan ignores maintenance fees, taxes, or future competition. Bezos' PowerPoint ban tackles that problem by forcing teams to literally Write out potential risks. Reading each risk in paragraph form makes it hard to skip over. You see the possible pitfalls, you see the data, and you see who's accountable if something goes wrong. This matters to your wallet because it's an invitation to be methodical. Imagine you're considering a partnership with someone on a joint business venture. Instead of making a few bullet points about profit splits, you'd write a narrative memo explaining each partner's role, the timeline, capital input, and what happens if growth slows. Sure, it's more work up front, but you're far more likely to spot friction points, unrealistic timelines, or hidden costs before you start bleeding money. Groupthink is powerful. If everyone around you is excited about a new stock or a trendy sector, maybe AI or biotech, there's a real temptation to jump on board without a thorough check. Bezos' narrative memo approach acts as a brake on that impulse. It physically slows you down. You can't just nod along when you're forced to sit in a room and read a multi-page document that lays out the entire plan top to bottom. It helps individuals think more carefully and ensures any obfuscated logic is brought to light. Even if you're a solo decision maker, forcing yourself to present your ideas in a memo format, maybe writing them out in detail in a journal, automatically engages the more skeptical parts of your brain. This is crucial for building wealth because it keeps you from following a crowd blindly when you should be cautious. Before you invest in something that sounds too good to be true, remember that dryness of a few extra pages might be exactly what saves you from being the last person holding the bag. You might be thinking, I don't have to write 6 pages every time I make a money move. Fair enough, but you can still adopt a scaled-down approach. For instance, anytime you plan to make a major purchase, like renovating your home or investing in a business idea, create at least a 1-page narrative. Include what you're hoping to achieve, how you'll measure success, and the biggest what-ifs that could go wrong. The key is detail. Don't just say, I want to upgrade the kitchen to increase resale value. Write a paragraph explaining current market trends, who your ideal buyer might be, and whether you'll recoup your costs if the market cools. Think about how many mistakes could be avoided if you dug that deep. If you're considering a career pivot, maybe moving from a stable job into freelancing, draft a memo that covers your new budget, your projected clients, and what happens if you don't reach those goals on time. Beneath the seemingly tedious process lies a powerful safeguard against impulse moves that sting your wallet. At first, switching from quick bullet points to narrative-like thinking can feel like learning a new language. It's slower, it's more demanding, and it reveals how often we rely on brevity to mask uncertainty. But once you adjust, you'll notice immediate benefits. Your decisions become more intentional. You anticipate your own weaknesses. You ask questions you never would have considered in a slideshow format, such as, what happens if I lose my primary client for 3 months? Or, what if my competitor slashes prices and outbids me? This isn't about overthinking to the point of paralysis. It's about a healthier balance, knowing both the opportunities and the risks before you commit. Over time, the process becomes second nature, and you'll find that you make more confident, fact-based decisions. Just having that confidence alone could be transformative in your quest to build wealth. You'll move forward with a plan, not a guess. By banning PowerPoint, Bezos was doing more than banning a piece of software. He was reshaping a culture to prevent the kinds of shortcuts that cost millions in wasted investments. They wrote memos because a few paragraphs packed with data and logic can make or break a good idea. If you apply even a fraction of that diligence, you stand to protect your finances and make more reliable progress toward your goals. Instead of bullet points, try narratives that detail your real reasons, numbers, and assumptions. You'll catch flaws before they become expensive lessons. Maybe you won't write 6 pages, but you can at least adapt your process. Thanks for watching. If you're looking for more strategies that map to real-world financial success, ones that keep you from costly errors, hit that subscribe button now. I'll keep sharing powerful tools inspired by the world's most accomplished people, so you can grow your wealth and avoid pitfalls others never see coming. See you next time.